I think as a reviewer, I have a wider dynamic range than any other audio reviewer on the planet. And I'll tell you why. The other day, I was in Innovative Audio in New York City, and I was listening to a $250,000 amplifier. It's called the Relentless. It's made by Dan D'Agostino in Arizona, and it's really freaking amazing. And I'll be doing a full interview on my CNET blog with Dan about that amplifier and just about his overall approach to design. So anyway, I'm spending a pleasant evening talking to Dan, listening to a $250,000 amplifier. Then the next day, I'm home, and I'm listening to this. This is a Kinter K2020A amplifier. This might look familiar to you guys because it looks nearly identical to the Lepi LP2020 Plus or 2020 Ti amplifier. Same chassis. Similar, but actually kind of different. So anyway, my wide dynamic range thing is that this one is $33, this one is $37. So is the D'Agostino amp 7,575 times better than either of these? Anyway, that's the dynamic range I was referring to. It's a joke. So anyway, this guy here, well, I've been listening to both of them with two sets of speakers. One is the Dayton Audio B652 Air, which is I think $50 a pair. Great speaker. And also a much better speaker, the Emotiva B1. Both of those speakers, the Emotiva and the Dayton, have folded ribbon tweeters, air motion transformer tweeters. Both really good. The Emotiva is about $300 a pair. So anyway, I'm comparing these amps with those speakers, and it's clear to me that this amp sounds a wee bit better than this amp. The differences are more significant than they might appear from the outside. This amp uses the TriPath chip that used to be in the Lepi, but no longer is. The Lepi now has a Texas Instrument chip as their output transformer. Their amplifier chips is a TI in this one, Texas Instrument, and in this one is the TriPath. Maybe more significantly, though, this puppy here, you won't be able to see it because the print is kind of small on that back panel, but this one uses a 12-volt 5-amp power supply / wall wart, while this one uses a 12-volt 3-amp power supply. So a 3-amp power supply versus 5-amp, that's kind of significant. And yet, oh wait, it gets better. This amp is $33 on Amazon when I checked today, and this amp is $37 on Amazon when I checked today. So it's cheaper, has a bigger, beefier power supply. And I think it sounds better. It sounds better, especially when I pushed it really loud. It was more effortless when I cranked it loud on the Emotivas. And I think the top end's a little airier. It's a little clearer overall. Is it a huge difference? No, it's not a huge difference. But the difference in price is $4. So, and this one is cheaper, a cheaper one. $33 versus $37. Anyway, that is my dynamic range story, and it's $250,000 amp one day, $33 amp the next day. What a life. But you know what? I enjoy them both. That's the thing. I'm sitting here listening to the Lepi and also to the Kinter. I did say this is the Kinter, right? Kinter. Kinter K2020A amplifier. So I'm listening to the Kinter, and I'm thinking, this sounds really nice. Really, really nice. Does it sound as good as the NAD C316 BEE for $400? No, it doesn't. But again, you can't do these multiplication table ideas. Is it X times? Is the NAD 10 times better than this? It's better. It's significantly better. But these things don't work that way. But I'll tell you one thing. Speaking about working, if you buy an amplifier for $33, I don't think you should have expectations that you're going to be passing it down to your grandchildren. I don't think you should have expectations that it's going to be working next year. I mean, let's face it, quality control for $33 products or $37 products is kind of shady, or skimpy at least, right? So you're not in for the long haul with these puppies. And you might even open the box and it might not work. It might be dead on arrival, right? That's a possibility. But the thing is, if you plug it in and it works, it will probably keep working at least for some period of time. I don't know, a year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe, I don't know. Could be. I'm just saying, it's funny when I see people's irate comments about a product that cost $33 that it didn't continue to work flawlessly. That's kind of high expectations for a very low price product. But, you know, people do what they do. But anyway, I think that you can get better quality sound today in 2018 for very, very little money than you could in previous decades. And that's a fantastic thing, is quality sound is cheaper than it's ever been. Now, of course, from my perspective, I think it's kind of bizarro that people will go out and spend $350 for, let's say, the Apple HomePod speaker, which is one speaker. And I think it makes bass. It plays reasonably loud. I'm not saying it's a piece of crap or anything, but it sounds like a blob. You know, it sounds like this big, thuddy, silly, I don't know, nothing product. And for less than $100, with either of these amps and the Dayton B652 speaker, it's so much better sounding. I mean, it's clear. It does actual stereo as opposed to sort of some fake quasi stereo. Now, of course, you can't talk to the Apple HomePod. You can't say, play me, you know, Led Zeppelin 2 or something. You got to get up off your chair and play something to use this system that I'm talking about with the Kinter and the Dayton speakers. But it sounds a lot better than a HomePod by no small stretch. Maybe even 7,557 times better. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to check that. You measurement guys, you should go out and measure that. Anyway, I think I'm done for today. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like it, please come back often. And by the way, I have playlists here. Playlists for speaker reviews, headphone reviews, music review, all kinds of stuff. And there's over 400 something videos on this channel. It's only a little more than a year old. So lots to look at if you're new to the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Welcome aboard. Come back often, and I'll see you again real soon.